let's get your opinion on this one, guys. I got a call from a lawyer a lawyer firm, I should say, that I do quite a bit for back in the day. You know, maybe 5 to 8 jobs a year. So I don't know if that's a lot, but enough that I've been working with them for quite a while. One of the partners, which is the one I usually worked with, she passed away, had cancer and passed away. I went and repaired their facilities and showed the new person taking over the system and how to work it. That's all fine and done, all happy, was very standoffish, didn't want to pay me to do it, which I thought was a little weird. Well, now 30 days later, she calls me and emails me and wants me to come over there, and they went through the partner's drawers and found keys that had my name stamped on there, and she wants to know where those keys go because they look important. I told her you could send me the keys and maybe I could figure out where they're going, or at least give you the right direction, or I have to charge you to come over and figure out where they go. She actually was like taken back that I was going to charge her. I'm like, you guys are the same people that charge people to talk on the phone, right? She didn't like that. So lo and behold, do you really need a customer that's like that? I don't think I'm in the wrong asking for being paid for my time to go out and actually take, my time, my gas, my business time, my family time away and go there and go over her keys. Now, this is not a big building. Now, we're talking maybe 2,000 square foot, probably 15 doors. So maybe take those 10 keys you found and go door to door and figure it out yourself free, instead of browbeating me, making me feel guilty that I'm not doing you right. So what do you guys think about that? I basically just told her I'm more than happy to come out there, but I'm going to charge you hourly to come and poke keys and locks and figure out what goes where if they're not even old keys. I don't know. So, all right, guys, that's it for today. We're going to go make some keys at a factory. It's a government defense contractor, so they don't like phones in there. So no video in there, unfortunately, but we'll be back. Guys, so we finished up that making keys for that key box, literally just duplicating 6 keys for a key box. Now let me ask you this. This is a weird position I get put in a lot, and I used to be very upfront, and I still am to a certain extent. This key box, the customer called me out to make keys because it's made in China and it's an oddball key. Ace don't have them. The Key Me kiosk, which is the biggest scam out there, don't have them. So they have to have me come out. Okay, now the box itself is cheap. I bet you if that was $35, that was probably expensive. Probably more like $25. So I don't know how they can justify to send me out to come cut keys on site. I'm $150 to do that. Which included the keys. Don't get me wrong, I'm not like totally rolling them, but that's too much. Like, why would you spend that kind of money trying to save $5 on the stupid key box when you could buy a HPC key box with an American lock, or at least a compatible Yale lock of some kind that's pretty common you could get made? I'm not complaining. I like the work. It's easy money for me, but at the end of the day, I used to tell customers, it ain't worth it to you. Like, you're going to spend more money on me making keys for something. It's not worth it. Now, I used to tell them that all the time. I've just gotten sick of it and tell them, this is how much it's going to be. Are you okay with that? Most people say, yeah. That is just the mentality of, like, the Amazon generation, I guess. I don't get it. I mean, I guess maybe it's because I'm older and I'm cheap and I've had to struggle in my younger days, that I whatever I need to spend my money on, I'm going to do it wisely. I can't justify. It's like putting racing tires on a station wagon, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to put Z-rated racing tires on a station wagon that can't get above 65 miles an hour. I don't need, $1,500 worth of tires, and fancy rims for that. It's silly, but you know what? That's maybe because I'm an honest guy. I tell them straight out, this is how much it's going to cost. Are you comfortable with that? If they are, fine. If not, you know what? I get it. I could sell them a brand new box with keys cheaper than I could come out and make it, but for whatever reason, they like the ability to just order stuff from Amazon. That's fine. So unless you're going to send Jeff Bezos out there in his spaceship and have him cut keys on site, sometimes you got to pay for that convenience. So, all right, guys. So I got a pretty cool. I told you I got lots of Fender stuff. I'm moving all that stuff into my basement soon, and I got tons of it everywhere. And good old Jimi Hendrix up there. But the cool story I had was one of the people I'd been friends with for a while. He was a furniture mover, and they took over the estate of Fender's house, and they moved all of his own furniture and bought it from the estate. In the back of the actual drawer were a bunch of these checks that they used to send back your checks when you got them canceled back in the day. So Leo signed this. Actually, it was his house. This has all been proven. But the guy sort of, the mover hit like the total gold mine. It was just literally a drawer full of canceled checks. He sold these for $100 each, and there was, I think he said, like 300 or 400 in there or something like that, just boxes of them. And yeah, I mean, he sold them all, and what a gold mine. Wish I could be like that, but that's not my luck. Morning, guys. Jeff with HKS Systems Lock and Safe. Hope everybody's doing well today. So we're following up a little bit more with the guitar collection. Like I said, I'm moving. This is actually was my end table for upstairs, my coffee table for upstairs. But I ended up moving. I'm going to be moving everything down here. So slowly but surely it'll make it. So we're going in. We're going to skip some of this wall right now. We'll go back to that later in the week or the month or whatever. We're going to go straight to Fender today. Huge Fender collector back in the day. I used to have tons of them. Probably close to 50 Strats and Telecasters. A couple other oddballs here and there. I've really thinned that out. It's not that they're not good guitars. They're very good guitars. Some of my favorite guitars. But I just find, how many can I play at the same time? How many do I really need? They all are the same thing other than color. And, you know, a couple different design differences. So there's about some of them that I've actually thinned down quite a bit. So what I did was I took these ones. These are my, you probably never heard of them. Maybe if you're from the 80s, you would. His name was Yngwie Malmsteen. Yngwie was like one of my big influences in the 80s when I started playing guitar. Yngwie's got the interesting thing on his necks. Like, so if you take a look at his necks, you see how they're bowed out. That's sort of very unique for Yngwie. No other necks are typically like that. Everything else is just a straight cut like that. His are what's called scalloped, like scalloped potatoes. They actually cut the wood in between each fret wire, and they make it, it's a little bit more easier to play because it does give you a little bit more oomph underneath. But yeah, these are interesting, and he does that on all his models. I used to have like a dozen of his models, but I've narrowed it down just to two. A rosewood neck, and this is the maple neck. I had these custom painted from, this is a gold flake, and this is a super heavy metallic flake purple. Very cool. In the light, that thing is just amazing. Huge flake. That's like a 65 thousandths flake. This is like a 10 thousandths flake. So you see how big these are? Those are like 3 times the size. Some of my biggest influence, obviously Eddie Van Halen's probably my number one, I would guess. My other one is Billy Gibbons. Love that guy. So those are my two Yngwies. He still makes those for Fender. The only thing they've really changed was they went from a DiMarzio pickup to a Seymour Duncan pickup, but pretty much similar, same thing. So this is the Hendrix Stratocaster. Obviously, it's just a replica. Obviously, if I had his, I'd be a millionaire. But yeah, this is you'll see the differences on these. He always had the headstock backwards because he was the left-handed player. So yeah, I actually just bought a regular regular neck, and then had the nut recut. And the interesting thing on these is they sort of have a different tonal characteristic because of the elongation of the thick E string all the way down. And if you notice, this is your typical down here single coils, and these are up at a slant like this. Well, because it was a right-handed guitar, his is backwards, so it has the elongated from the E all the way up here, all the way down. It also has the reverse pole pieces because it was a left-handed guitar at one time. So it does tonally sound a little bit different. As you can see, these are the typical standard E's were here, standard E's then up here. So it does sound a little bit different. It's got a little bit more, I guess, clarity, I guess you consider it, and low thump, but that's pretty interesting. And then so that was pretty much my Stratocasters. I have two more like oddball ones. This one is actually, I just got this about a month ago. This is the Jeff Beck Custom Shop. So they actually only make so many of these a year. He signs the backs of them. Specialized roller bridges. I got it on a really good deal. I'm not even a huge Jeff Beck fan, although I do think he's a great guitarist. I'm not a huge fan, but it was a really great guitar. I remember playing these back in the day when I was a kid, and I know I could never afford them. And then this guy just literally gave one of these away. It was a custom shop, and like I said, they're very expensive. So Fender Custom Shop, signed by Jeff Beck, custom shop. They come with a special carrying case, obviously the leather case, strap, authenticity, paperwork, all this stuff. But great deal I got on that, so I really couldn't pass it up. I figured, you know what, even if I just play it for a year, I'll flip it, double my money. Why not? That's what life's all about, right? Enjoying yourself when you can. And then this is what's called a Fender Twisted Pawn Shop finds. They're called Pawn Shop series. So they were basically like a hybrid. They're sort of a hybrid of a Stratocaster body, F-hole, which is semi-hollow, humbucker pickups, no whammy bar, sort of a parts of a Telecaster, and then Telecaster headstock. So Fender did make these. This is a whole Fender thing. It was made. So this is a specialized thing they made. This one's actually made in Japan, which actually the Japanese ones are really well made. The rest of them are all American made, but these ones are really well made. So that's the Pawn Shop 72, I believe, is actually the technical name for it. They didn't make them very long. They only made them for 1 year. Just a unique guitar. It sounds really unique. It's got sort of a like the humbucker pickups, and then it's got a Telecaster pickup in there, more of a Telecaster type head stock for sure, and then the neck, and then the body's like a Stratocaster but hollow, semi-hollow. So very unique.